Hi Spirit Fam, welcome to the channel. Today I have a pick a card for you for this beautiful month of November. You are coming back to the channel. Welcome back. I am so grateful to have you here and I appreciate each and every single one of you. If you are new to the channel, welcome to Eileen Into Spirit. My name is Eileen Rouse. I am a psychic intuitive, a spiritual coach, and a sound healing practitioner. So I want to remind everyone that this is going to be a general reading. So that means that it's not going to resonate with every single person out in the collective. So I ask that you take with you what resonates, and I want you to leave the rest behind. So without further ado, let's go ahead and dive into your beautiful pick a card. Okay, Spirit Fam. So we are in the beginning of the month of November. And normally I do zodiac reads, but there have been some changes in my life. And so we are going to do this beautiful pick a card. So I want you to really center yourself. And I want you to really take in a few deep breaths and allow your intuition to speak to you. Now, as you see in front of you, there are 4 piles that you specifically get to choose from. Whatever calls out to you, whatever sort of draws your attention, that is the pile that you are going to want to choose. Now, if you are drawn to more than one pile, it is perfectly okay. You can watch both piles. Just allow yourself to be drawn to a specific pile. Pile 1 with external validation. Pile 2, find your sacred flow. Pile 3, befriend the word polarize. And pile 4, your soul shines. So without further ado, Spirit Fam, let's go ahead and dive right into your pick a card. Hi, pile 1. You have chosen this beautiful nude, muted sort of peach color with external validation. So for the month of November, we are going to start off with this beautiful message. Now, as I pointed out earlier, this was pictured with headphones right at the center. And so I want you to really sort of keep in mind here that for this month, this is really about finding your own vibe and your own beat. It's about effortlessly attracting others because of your warm energy. It's about tuning out the noise of the external world around you and recognizing that you don't need that external validation to sort of, what's the right word? It's almost like what this is truly saying is that you need to be more centered within yourself. You need to be more accustomed to your own rhythm, opening yourself up to what you feel, what you hear, those kinds of things. I feel like it's important that you recognize that if you're the type of person that sort of shuts out the world, okay? If you're the type of person that completely shuts out the world, you don't really listen to when anyone compliments you or tries to appreciate you in any form, then this is what you're really needing to work on this month. So I feel that because it's important for you to recognize that, listening, paying too much attention to naysayers, like even if it's in your own head, even if it's in your own voice, even if you are constantly degrading yourself or you're constantly nagging on yourself, right? So paying too much attention to naysayers or listening to opinions as if it is a fact can be quite damaging to your self-esteem, to your sense of self-worth. And I feel that this month, it's really about you sort of tuning in to what makes you happy, right? Because in the center here, I see a sun. And so what is it that makes your soul shine? What is it? What are the things? Who are the people that truly make you feel validated, that make you feel appreciated? What does your heart say? And recognize that you have to learn to be your own compass this month. You have to recognize that there is an optimal time when to seek outside validation or when to seek outside opinions. It's really mostly about tuning into yourself and really listening to what your guidance, your intuition, your higher self is really speaking to you this month. And recognize that that is what is truly needed for you this month. So pile one, we're going to go ahead and dive right in to your tarot cards. So we are starting out with the Two of Swords. So again, this is sort of like this internal dialogue and battle that you've got going on in your mind. That's really making you feel very conflicted. You're not really being very precise in your decision making, right? And it's sort of like being caught in a rock and a hard place. I feel that you are going to get a lot of attention this month here, pile one. And I feel that this is the reason why they're wanting you to pay very close attention to your heart, really listen to your own validation. Even if you get individuals who are nagging you or they're not really uplifting you in any way, you don't need their opinion. And here's the other thing, pile one, I'm sorry. The important thing for you to recognize this month here, pile one, is that it is okay to ask for opinions of other people on what decision to make, but the ultimate decision process really needs to come from you. It needs to come from that place of you that is truly interconnected to your own intuitive guidance. Intuitively, you're the one that is walking that path, and intuitively, you're the one that has to ultimately make that decision. Now, I do feel that this month, with everything that is sort of transpiring and coming forward to you, it's going to make you feel like you don't have enough resources. Maybe you don't feel very confident in yourself. Maybe you feel like things really aren't in the place that they need to be in order for you to make that decision. But here's the thing. Remember that the things that you are passionate about, that you have drive for, that you ultimately creates excitement in you, that makes you want to jump out of bed. Those are the decisions, the things that you actively need to be working on or moving towards this month, because that is going to help make you feel a little bit safer. Now, here's the thing. Because your primary message was external validation, I feel that it's important for you to remember that your opinion is what matters most. It is not the opinion of everyone outside of you or around you. Everyone is going to give you their advice, their opinion, and is going to tell you this is what you should do. But what you really need to focus on is focus on your worth. Focus on your strengths, the things that ultimately help you create more solid foundations that make you feel safe and secure in that decision-making process. Now, with the Ten of Pentacles and the King of Swords here, what this is saying is that, you have a lot to share, a lot of knowledge, a lot of wisdom, a lot of insight. You're very resourceful, and you like to be the one person that likes to share your insights. And there could probably be some individuals that tell you that that's stupid or that it's never going to work. But here's the thing. They're trying to prevent you from being successful because they see you as that person that is going to rise above, right? So the King of Swords is this energy that takes charge. You are that person that takes charge here, pile one. And so because they know that you are the person that takes charge, and they know that you will push forward and you will do what is required of you in order to move forward, they will say whatever they need to say in order to prevent you from moving forward. It's almost like they say certain things to you because they know that you're unsure of yourself in certain areas. But here's the thing, you've got to take charge. You have a lot here in your assets. You have a lot to offer. And I feel that you really need to sort of just listen to your own opinion, listen to your own guidance, listen to your intuition, and just move forward. Don't even second guess yourself at all. You don't need the opinions of others. Okay. Now here we have notice the pattern. Okay, so this is great, right? Because the one thing that you need to understand with notice the pattern is that there are patterns to our thought processes, to our decision making, all kinds of things, right? So, and those patterns end up moving in cycles, right? And so the more that you continue to follow a pattern, the more you continue to experience the same result. You end up experiencing the same experiences. And so you end up not really expanding or growing in any way. And it's important for you to recognize that when it comes to your decision making, right? When people are communicating to you their opinions and they're telling you this is great advice, you should really listen to my advice, I want you to notice how that makes you feel. Pay very close attention to the words that they use. What is the pattern here? When those specific individuals say those specific things, how does it make you feel? And does it make you feel secure in your decision process? Does it make you feel like you're resourceful? Does it make you feel like you can charge ahead with full confidence, not even worrying about it whatsoever? You need to notice the patterns. Notice how every time you go through this process, what transpires. When you can be aware, you can pay attention, then you can start really asking deeper questions here, okay? Next, we have commit. Now, this is really about, I feel, you needing to commit to the decisions and that you make for yourself, right? Because this is your life. This is your path. No one has a say-so in your life. No one other than you. And so it is important that you be very committed. That means that you're going to have to work really hard. You're going to have to work really hard in trusting your own gut, in listening to that internal guidance system that is, that you can connect to, that is ultimately going to lead the way. Okay. Now, next we have desert. Now, okay. This is interesting because most of the times I would read this as, needing to be alone. But what this is really telling me here, pile one for you this month, is that you're really needing to use the alone time as a way to truly connect with thyself. And I say this because this desert is really about being solitary, right? Recognizing that when other people are trying to, give you their opinion and steer you in a way that doesn't feel genuine to you or doesn't feel right to you, then you ultimately have to recognize that maybe there's a reason for that, right? This desert is really about finding that sense of foundation within yourself that you can ultimately get to a point here, pile one, where you can trust yourself wholeheartedly and therefore won't even need to ask the opinions of other people around you. Because this is a 13. This desert card here is a 13, which reduces to a 4. And right at the heart of your reading here, you have the 4 of Pentacles. 4s represent foundations. It represents our sense of security and safety. And I feel that, I feel that if you can spend more time connecting to yourself and feeling like you are in control, and trusting your own opinions or trusting your own gut instincts and not really second guessing yourself, you will feel so secure in yourself and in your decisions that you won't need to have that validation outside of you. You won't need to have or question other people around you for their opinion. Okay, so next up, we have the High Lord of Gratitude and Service. Okay, so this tells me here, pile one, that you are the type of person that is very selfless. So you really care about other people, and I feel that you would never say to anyone what sometimes certain individuals say to you. Now, this could be family, and sometimes family feels like because they're your family, they can say whatever they want and that it shouldn't hurt your feelings. But the truth is that isn't the case, right? This is about, learning how to, set boundaries. I feel that when you are a selfless person, when you're very humble and you're very giving and you have that empathy for other people, you sometimes lack that ability to be able to create boundaries because number one, you don't want to be rude, and number two, there's a part of you that feels you need them, right? But here's the thing, you don't, because you have yourself, you have your higher self, you have that higher aspect of yourself that will never degrade you, never beat you down, and will never say things to you in a derogatory way that would make you question yourself or make you feel bad about yourself. And I feel that you have this quality of yourself. You are someone who is what I would call a change maker. You can create great, massive change in this world and in your life, and people know this. And sometimes when they're giving you their opinion, I often like to refer to it as unsolicited advice, especially if you're just talking to someone and they said, well, I have some advice for that. Well, if you didn't ask for the advice, why do they feel compelled to give you their advice? That is one thing that I have definitely learned, that I listen when people talk to me and I don't interject and I don't cut them off. I just listen. And when they're done, I ask them, are you open to some advice? And if they tell me no, then I don't take it personally, right? Because then that notifies me that they trust themselves. They trust their own instincts. They already have an idea of what's going on in their life. Therefore, they don't need my opinion. They just needed someone to listen to them, okay? So next we have, now these are goddess cards. This is Goddess Ixchel, which is healing magic and restoration. This is a 43, which reduces to a 7. So this is all about, I feel like restoring that sense of confidence and that sense of trust within yourself here. And it's really about allowing yourself to sit in that power, allowing yourself to trust whatever choices come up for you, and being confident in choosing the right path. the right course, whatever it might be, right? This is all about power, and it's really about you being in tune with how certain things make you feel. I see this moon here, right? And the moon is all about our emotions. And again, I want you to pay very close attention here, pile one. Pay very close attention to how certain things make you feel. What kind of things make you feel not so confident, that make you question, are you on the right path? Are you doing the right thing? That would make you want to get opinions outside of yourself instead of looking within, instead of turning inward to truly ask your higher self or your guides or your angels for that advice, right? Next, we have put your creative energy into action. So this is Archangel Gabriel that is coming through. And it says, Archangel Gabriel joins me to spark your creativity and help you communicate your vision and motivate you to create something beautiful. So kind of what I'm picking up, the vibe that I'm getting here, pile one, is that there is something beautiful that you are meant to create and put out into the world. And it's almost like you're afraid to. You're afraid to put it out in the world because either you're afraid of the criticism, you're afraid of what might transpire, and you're afraid of what that would mean for everything going forward. I do sense that there is a lot of fear here, but you are someone who is meant to be of service to the world. And that is going to look different for everyone. But I want you to really spend time with yourself, to be comfortable in your own skin, to be comfortable in your own body, to be comfortable with who you are, because that is the you that needs to be very present in the world. And it could be that there are people around you who are trying to dim your light, or that are trying to, sort of prevent you from fulfilling your life purpose, or being so public about who you are and what you have to offer the world. But you're needing to be authentically you. I'm surprised we didn't get an authenticity card that came through, but I feel that ultimately, you're authentic to certain specific individuals, not to everyone. And it's almost like you're wanting to be, it's almost like you're trying to hide aspects of yourself or aspects of your creativity because you don't want people to take advantage of you or get the wrong impression. But I think it's time that you toot your own horn a little bit, right? Like, I think it's time that you celebrate yourself, celebrate your gifts, celebrate what you have to offer and what you're bringing to the table, because it is something to be celebrated, and it is something to be, shared with the world. So your last and final card here, pile one, is going to be Awakening. And I am going to read what it says in the book. This is from The Secret Language of Light. And these are what I would call soul transmissions. So they're high frequency cards with soul transmissions that help you become more in alignment with your sense of divinity. So awakening is really about wisdom emerging through everyday experience. So here's what it says. You are or about to experience an aha moment. This will come as a feeling of deep truth that seemed to have slipped your mind. You have often thought there must be another way to experience and live this life, and you are about to discover it. You are opening your heart and mind to the full, authentic you. Time-honored ways that have worked in the past are no longer bringing the results that you desire, and may have become obstacles to your dreams. Beliefs become intermingled with everyday processes and who we think we are. No wonder it can seem hard to let them go. When you rouse from the slumber of conformity, you awaken into the same world, but through the eyes of soul love, you can see beyond fear to the creative possibilities that are everywhere. Relax and enjoy this time. This is your natural evolution. So this is beautiful for you here, pile one, because this is truly speaking about what I said earlier about you awakening to your authenticity, tooting your own horn, allowing yourself to truly be out in rare form of who you truly are, and allowing, like, trusting yourself, being confident in yourself, in your own skin, in your own body, whatever it is, you know. And understand that, I feel a lot of times when people really become awakened to newer things, when they're going through that spiritual growth or that expansion, they often say that they have to become a better version of themselves. But here's the reality of it, pile one. And I feel that this is going to be probably the most important golden nugget for you. You are already the best version of yourself. What you are doing here in this life when you are awakening is you are letting go of old layers of yourself that are no longer valid, that are no longer a part of you. And those are the layers that we must learn to let go and to drop, so that our greatest version of ourselves that already exist within us can truly come forward, can come to the light. So it's not about becoming the best version of yourself. It's about unbecoming who you are not, so that you can be who you are. So pile one, this is going to be your November message. I want to thank you so much for joining me today, and I look forward to seeing you next time with your new message. Bye, guys. Hi, pile two. You have chosen this beautiful peach pink card that says, find your sacred flow. So for the month of November, I feel that your primary message here with find your sacred flow is really about finding your state of flow, right? That could be a flow of mind, a flow of things in your physical reality, the flow of your emotions, right? This is about your unique rhythm. And I feel that this month, this is really bringing you your spirituality into the solution, right? Like really allowing your spirituality, your beliefs to flow into your everyday. It's about, being in the flow with the universe, understanding that when we are in the flow, especially this month, it's really about understanding when there's a time to pause, when there's a time to surrender, when there's a time to sort of let go of our need to be in control of everything. It's about sort of taking time out to understand different perspectives and maybe really look at our own sense of perspective and how we end up creating habits of coping with someone else's steps, or how they do things, or how they sort of handle certain situations. So I feel that this month for you here, pile two, is really about just being in a state of flow. Now, it's interesting that this comes up because it is a 12, okay? The month of November is an 11, and an 11 is a master number, so we don't reduce it to its single form. But we could if we wanted to, because no matter how you look at it, an 11 is really about this sense of awakening. It's about new beginnings. And when we have new beginnings, sometimes we have to sort of take a step back. We have to sort of pause, evaluate. We have to really ask ourselves, okay, what are we letting go so that we can allow space for something new to come in? And how do we want to go about doing that? How did it work the last time we did this? And what do we need to change going forward in order to, maybe have a different result, right? And when you look at when you look at the 11 and you reduce it to a 2, 2s are all about duality. They're all about the opposites, right? And it's all about learning to find that balance between the different states of consciousness or the states of flow of what transpires around you. Now, your card here is a 12, which is a 3. And interestingly enough, it's still consecutive. So what this tells me is that what comes after 11? 12. What comes after 2? A 3. So what this tells me is that, this month, you're going to be experiencing things that are sort of going to be happening in a way that you might not understand, pile 2. And it might feel like there's just so much of it happening all at once that it's really about you learning to find the rhythm in how things are unfolding in your life. And this is beautiful because I'm going to share a little bit here with you, pile 2, about something that I recently have experienced. So, I'm filming this the day before the massive solar eclipse I'm filming this on Friday the 13th. Now, I've never believed that the 13th is bad. And I know that on the 14th, we have this massive solar eclipse that is happening. And the energy that is out in the world and in the collective right now is so chaotic. It's so intense right now. And I can honestly tell you that when big, powerful moons like this happen, I feel the energy so intensely that sometimes it can be so overwhelming. And I just want to tell you that there has just been so much going on in my personal life that it's been really difficult for me to balance everything, to the point that I've had days that I've just sat down and I've cried because I'm like, I just don't know how much more I can handle. And the one thing I kept hearing in everything that was just sort of happening all at the same time was be in a state of flow. Be in a state of flow, right? And this is your message this month. So it's really about sort of finding your rhythm and recognizing how you respond to certain situations or things that sort of unfold in your life. And you have to surrender to what transpires. You can't just, there's this saying that, it's usually when things are going to happen, they're all going to happen at once so that you can go through it all at one big time and then you don't have to worry about it later, right? And a prime example of that is, I have, a mother-in-law and my wife's, grandmother that are both kind of incapacitated right now. So we're having to take care of them. And then I have my stepfather who's in the hospital, who now my mom is having to take care of, who's incapacitated. And then our fridge goes out. And so this is what I mean by this is stuff we have no control over. And it's about learning to just pause, take a breath, to surrender, to let go, to not allow ourselves to be so caught up in what is transpiring because we don't have a way to control that. It's really about understanding how we respond in those given situations. So let's dive a little bit deeper here, pile 2. This is so interesting because I kind of feel like this message is not only for you, but it's for me too. Okay, so we are starting out with the Nine of Pentacles. I love this because the Nine of Pentacles speaks about, you know, this independence that you have. And I feel that when you get to a certain place, you get so excited because you're like, look, these are all of the things that I've been so successful in. These are all of my trophies. These are all of the things that I've accomplished. And you get into that rhythm of all these things happening magically, and you become so independent, and you get into that state of that flow and that rhythm, right? And then what happens? All of a sudden, you're hit with something that you did not expect, right? Something that just, bam, happened out of nowhere, right? And it brings out in you this need to be brave and to be courageous and to recognize your own inner strength, right? It's important to understand that when you are so independent and you don't, you know, you get so caught up in that independence that when things fall apart, you don't know what to do. And sometimes that gets you out of that pattern, right? But what you don't recognize is that you wouldn't be in the power of the pre-Empress energy here with this Nine of Pentacles if you didn't have the capacity, the ability, the strength to overcome every challenge and every obstacle. Because I want you to understand, pile two, that with this strength card and this 9, now look at this, with this, again, consecutive numbers, a 9 and then an 8, right? So what this is saying is that over time, you develop a lot more strength and a lot more courage, a lot more bravery, and an ability to be patient. I feel that is the most important thing, because when we go through trial and error over and over and over again, what we're learning is we're learning how to adapt. We're learning how to be flexible. We're learning how to be patient and recognize that, you know, consistency and perseverance creates great sense of character for success, right? And that ultimately creates a way for us to fall into our own sense of authority. This is beautiful for you here, pile two, because what this is ultimately saying is that when you can learn to adapt, when you can learn to be flexible, when you can learn to stay in a state of flow, in state of sacred flow, and not allow outside things to sort of derail you from your course, your path, then you ultimately will know what shift you need to make. The Emperor here really speaks about, you know, the power it takes, the authority it takes for you to take charge and to be strategic in your plans and how you're going to move forward. It's also about you recognizing that you are your own source of independence. You are your own, you know, source of freedom that ultimately has to sort of take charge, because you're not only doing it for yourself, but you're doing it for your kingdom, right? So this is all about your legacy and recognizing that even though, you know, little setbacks will happen in your day-to-day, and I want you to understand that this could be this month, right? You could experience some things where it's gonna feel like everything's falling apart, like your empire is literally crumbling. But here's the thing, it's not. I promise you, it is not crumbling, because if anything, what's happening is that the ground beneath your empire is shaking, but it's making way for things which you can expand upon, right? Because it's giving you what? It's giving you more experience. It's giving you more knowledge. It's helping you understand things in different ways that you ultimately would have never experienced had XYZ not occurred, okay? So I feel that this month, as you go through this, it's important for you to continue to love and nurture the things that mean the most to you, especially when it comes to the people around you. It could be that maybe there is some, unhappiness or something that's going on in relationships. But I feel the most important thing for you here is about you continuing to love and nurture the things that make you happy and that continue to fulfill that aspect of growth and expansion in oneself. Now you have the Ace of Cups here. So here's what this is telling me, pile two. I feel that no matter what happens this month, you have to remember that you're in charge with this Emperor. You are in charge. You get to charge forward towards the things that you enjoy and that you love. It's not about trying to fix everything or, stomp out every single fire. And the reason I say this is because what I keep getting in my head here, pile two, is that maybe you're the mediator in your family when, family outrage breaks out or when fights happen in your family. I feel that it's important that you show everyone that it's really about learning to care for oneself, because the more that you care for oneself, the more you can actually be there for other individuals. I just feel that this month is really about you remembering. Remember why. Remember your why. Remember why you're doing what you are doing. Because again, it's about asking yourself, is your heart in it, right? And I feel that you could be stumbling upon something here that maybe this month you're going to experience a couple of setbacks, maybe in a project or in a business deal, whatever it is. But don't let that, sway you from continuing to charge ahead, because you need to continue doing what you love. You just need to be very strategic about how you go about it. And it's important for you to recognize that there isn't just one way. Right? If someone else was successful in doing what you do by doing XYZ, but you're being pushed towards doing it ABC, then that is the way for you. Understand that you're needing to experience that and go through that for a reason. There is always a purpose behind it. And it's all about learning to be open to the depth and the understanding of experiencing things in a different way. Okay. So next we have celebrate growth and breakthrough. So I do feel that what this is saying is that I feel that this month I don't know why, but this is what I keep hearing and sort of seeing. Pile two. I feel that you've experienced a lot of great success and a lot of breakthroughs in a business, in a project, in a deal, whatever it is. I feel that you were just on cloud nine. You were on a high. You were like, yes, everything's moving. Nothing's lagging. I'm just soaring clear ahead. And then all of a sudden, bam, you're having to force to do something in a different way. You're having to be more strategic. Maybe you're having to change your plans. Maybe you're having to change things up. And that sometimes can cause doubt. It can cause friction. But I want to point out here that what's transpiring is that you're needing to experience things in a different way. Maybe this deal was meant for you to be a solopreneur, right? Like you being a solo business owner. But maybe what's transpiring is that now maybe some investments aren't coming through and they're saying, maybe you need to really do this with an investor, or you need to have a partner, or, XYZ, right? I say that because now we have collaborate, right? And it's about recognizing here that sometimes Sometimes we have to change course because our team or our higher self is privy to things that we ultimately cannot see that far ahead, right? And so when things transpire, there's a reason for it. Maybe you collaborating with someone or bringing in a business partner or bringing in an investor will help you expand, will help you become more of an entrepreneur, will help you become more in charge of something. It's going to help give you experience and lessons that you otherwise would not have had. Now, I want to point out that at the heart of the reading here, we do have ignition with fire. Now, this is an important card here because the Emperor is a fire energy card. And when you have so much passion and so much excitement and so much fire, sometimes that fire can seem very hot and maybe can get out of control, right? And so I feel that this is really about you needing to just slowly take a pause. Don't try to charge ahead or rush ahead so quickly. This is really about you just sort of asking yourself, what needs to change? What do I need to do differently? How can I, live my passion and allow my spirit to drive forward, but not overthink the situation, right? And it's understanding that, you can't sit and contemplate on whether you should make a change or whether you should bring in a partner or an investor. This is really about taking charge and taking action. But again, it's about doing things from the heart, focusing on the why, okay? So next we have the resting tree with patience and stillness. Again, I keep getting this pause. So I feel that for some of you out in the collective, this could actually be that if there was some sort of a business deal that was going to happen, I feel like it's not going to happen. I feel like there's going to be a pause. Someone's going to question something and it's going to cause you to really doubt yourself. But I want you to understand that you should not doubt yourself, okay? We have storms here, right? And storms to me with this lightning always indicate a tower moment. And again, this is why they're wanting you to really focus on your sacred flow, because that means that when things start slowing down or when things start falling apart, it might appear as if things are falling apart. But the reality of it is that it is just a perception. How you perceive what transpires around you ultimately creates your reality. So again, this is really about understanding that when things sort of crumble or they fall apart, there is a reason. It's not that you did something wrong. It's not that it's not meant to be. It's really about you understanding that maybe your spirit team or your guides really saw something that maybe 5 years down the road, you're going to go bankrupt, right? Or maybe, 10 years down the line, someone's going to end up, buying you out or suing you or, whatever it might be, right? Like it could be so many different things, but it's about you recognizing that when you're in the midst of chaos, it is important for you to be centered, to be still, to be clear, and to listen. And understand that when you can do that, when you can sit in that stillness and that patience in the midst of everything that is transpiring, you will slowly start to see things shift in a different direction, right? Because now you have welcome abundance into your life. And what this is saying is that prosperity is on its way to you. Have faith that source will heal your financial challenges, right? So it could be this month here, pile 2, that, whatever setbacks you have this month, understand that there is something beautiful and a bigger blessing that is coming behind it, right? Don't just look at it as, okay, well, this is the end of the deal. I'm going to fold up my cards and that's it. I'm calling. It's a wrap. Like, don't remember. It's all about perception. It's all about listening. Okay. So last but not least, we have let your light shine. Now, I'm going to read you what it says in the book for this card, because I feel that this month, it's all about you. You know, I feel that it's important that you recognize how much you contribute and how much you have to offer the world. But understand that, you know, sometimes you have to take a step back. You have to reevaluate. Maybe you have to really, you know, allow yourself to truly say, you know what? Maybe this isn't the direction that I really want to go. Maybe I want to change things up a little bit. Maybe I want to, you know, do something completely different. And that is perfectly okay. So pile 2, let your light shine, is all about being authentic. Today, embrace your uniqueness. Say to yourself, I am so pleased and honored to be me. Embrace the parts of you that may feel a little strange. They feel this way because you resist experiencing the fullness of you. We can all feel a little odd or peculiar at times, longing to be like everyone else and just fit in. But compromise breeds resentment. Locking yourself into the presence of what others want will strangle your soul and split you in two. Accept yourself, set yourself free from judgment and what you perceive others think about you. Let your soul shine outward and inspire others to connect, embrace, and shine their truth. When we are aligned with our soul, we feel loved and satisfied. We no longer need others to lean on to fill our perceived voids or to be different to who they are. Instead, we want to be with others for the pure joy of it. Create new ways towards anything that is of interest to you. Can you feel the relief wash over you? Know that you are beautiful. So I feel that what this message, this let your light shine, is for you here this month, pile 2, is all about, you know, seeing yourself clearly, recognizing that, you know, for everything that you have accomplished, for all of the success that you have had, and truly being so independent, I think it's time that you come back to source. I think this is the reason why you got, you know, the sacred flow, being in a state of sacred flow, because understand that your success isn't done just by yourself. Your team, your spiritual team, your guides and your angels are always with you, working behind the scenes, helping you achieve the things that you are trying to manifest and you are trying to grow in this life. And I feel that it's time that you become more in balance with this universal concept, and recognizing that things don't always transpire when we want them to, that there is a time and a place as to when things transpire. And I feel this is what this month is really going to teach you and what you're going to need to be open to. So pile 2, this is your message. I want to thank you so much for joining me today, and I look forward to seeing you next time with your new message. Bye, guys. Hi, pile 3. You chose this beautiful tri-colored card that says, befriend the word polarize. So pile 3, I feel that the month of November is really about you putting yourself out front and center. It's about displaying your inner truth, showing the world how brave and courageous you are. It's about sharing your truth. It's about moving towards a goal and recognizing that this is all about growth and transitions for you, and it's about personal empowerment. I'm going to read you a little insert from the book on this beautiful card because I think it's going to truly speak to you about what this month is going to entail for you. Polarize isn't a bad word. Great leaders are not selling safe, unusual, everyday ideas. It's time to bravely put your truth and your wisdom out on display in order to find those individuals who totally love what you're saying. Finding those soulful kindreds may mean that there will be others who disagree with what you're all about, and that's okay. It's time to get comfortable with this possibility and steer clear of any safety watered down vanilla choices that are meant to keep you palatable and liked. You are anything but average, so don't hide your powerful message from the world by trying to appeal to the taste of the masses. So I feel that the month of November, pile 3, is really about you letting yourself shine, letting yourself be up front and center and declaring your truth, speaking your truth, not caring about what others people think about it, not listening to their opinions, and understand that we're all going to have haters. Even I have haters, believe it or not. And it's okay. You're not meant to be for everyone. And there's a phrase that I always said from the moment I started doing, readings, is that we never want to be cookie cutter versions of someone else. If we're only doing things because it's what the masses likes, then we're really not truly aligned with our higher truth. We're not truly being authentic to who we are, because all we're doing is satisfying individuals because we're not wanting to, disagree with someone else or hurt someone else or, create that friction. But I feel that for you, pile 3, this is all about you being okay with being different. It's allowing yourself to be different and telling yourself that it's okay to be different, because that is what makes you you. And that is what makes you unique and different and a part of this world. If we were all the same and we all believed the same, how dull would this world be? So let's go ahead and dive right in here, pile 3. I feel that for you this month, this is all about you needing to make a choice to be authentically you. You need to decide. You need to choose, are you going to choose yourself, or are you going to choose to fit into a box and conform to what everyone else wants you to be? So we are starting out with the 3 of Wands. And I feel this is you wanting to sort of like experience life in a different way. You're wanting to explore. You're wanting to have different experiences, and you're wanting to journey out in the world and say, God, I had all of these amazing experiences, and this is what I've gained from it. But I feel that in order for you to do that, you're going to have to really start changing the way that you communicate and changing the way that you collaborate with others. Now, I do feel that how you're going to be more authentically you, maybe what you're needing to do is share with the world your voice, right? And maybe that means that you do that by collaborating with others. Maybe this is about you needing to step outside of your comfort zone and really do something different than you've ever done before. This could mean that if you're an introvert, this means that you're going to probably have to get a little bit more extroverted and do things out in public or out in front of other individuals, and sort of step out of that introvert circle a little bit to really expand yourself and to get yourself out there, right? This 3, I love that you have 2 3s here, because the 33 is a master number. But what I love about it is that 3s are all about, aligning to that creativity, to that creation, creating something new. I feel that there is something deep within you, pile 3, that you are ultimately wanting to put out in the world. It could be a book. It could be a deck of cards. Maybe it could be, a product, whatever it is. There is something that you that I feel excites you, it gives you a lot of joy, and you're wanting to put it out in the world, but you're so afraid of what other people are going to say. You're so afraid that, well, what if somebody else already has something out there that's similar? But the thing is, if you do it in a different way and you do it more authentically to you, who you are, what does it matter? Everything that is out in this world is an adaptation of the same thing. It's just a matter of putting your touch on it, your spark, your spin, okay? And I want you to understand, Pile 3, that you are meant to really move forward with this. I feel that you're waiting because I feel like there's a part of you that's saying, well, I have to really wait until XYZ, right? Maybe you feel there's a specific time when you're supposed to be doing it or when you're supposed to get started. But I'm here to tell you, the more that you put it aside, the more that you hold off on it, the longer you're going to be standing on the shore waiting for that perfect time, and that perfect time is never going to show up. This is about you literally taking action and charging toward, actively working towards what it is, okay? Now, again, you have the Two of Pentacles here. So this is all about a choice. You have to balance. Now, it could be that maybe you're thinking, I just don't have enough time right now, but time is relative. What is a top priority to you here, Pile 3? And I feel that you're going to be balancing a lot of things, and it could be that maybe it's going to make you feel really off kilter, and it's going to make you feel not like yourself, because you're going to be, in a state of creativity and creation that is probably going to take over. Because I'm going to tell you, the moment I start working on something creatively, it literally consumes my entire life, and then everything else sort of falls off my plate because I'm so immersed in the creation. But again, it's all about finding that balance, right? We're not naturally going to just bam, put ourselves out in the world and then be comfortable with that. It's going to take some time. So I feel that for you this month, it's really about you learning to find the balance between, who other people believe you to be and who you really are. Okay. I feel that you're wanting this sense of happiness. You're wanting to put this out in the world because it does ignite. It gives you so much life. It gives you so much spark, so much joy. And here's the thing. I feel that when you actively start working on this creation and you start creating this project or this product or whatever it is, it's going to open up floodgates for you, Pile 3. You're going to be hit with so many different ideas, so many inspirations that are just going to sort of start flowing to you. And it's going to be like no holds barred. And I want you to understand that when you are in a state of creating, you are actively working with the magic of life. Because you are creating, you're bringing things into existence. You are creating life. You are putting life into something that was just a vision in your mind. And that is ultimately going to bring so much more out of you that you don't even realize is there. So I feel this month for you here, Pile 3, is really about just learning to be in balance, giving in to your desires and to your wishes and your inspirations, and put forth a little effort into your ideas. They're great ideas. And I feel that there are individuals out in the world that want to see these ideas, but you've got to really allow yourself to play. I love this. You got to allow yourself to play. You got to allow yourself to be spontaneous and to just allow yourself to explore the depths of your creativity and just be. Because I feel like, I can honestly say that one of the things that I don't really care for in the United States school system is that they try so hard to dab out or crush everyone's, dreams and imagination and all of that. And I just don't like that, because we end up having adults that don't know how to play, that don't know how to just be in a state of creation and be in a state of flow and allowing ourselves to just be, right? Because we're too busy trying to conform to that list and conform to, I got to do this, I have to do this, I have to do that, I have to do this. You need to allow yourself to play. I think that when you allow yourself to be in that state of playfulness, that state of curiosity, and that state of creativity, like I said, there is so much that's going to open up for you, and you're going to be in this state of bliss, and you're going to be like, oh my gosh, I can do this, I can do that. And it's just going to, it's almost like Niagara Falls is just going to open up, and all, these ideas and inspirations are just going to start flooding towards you. Again, we have be authentic. So you're needing to be more authentically who you are. Stop trying to hide who you are. Let yourself be. When I first, came out to my family and my closest friends that I did card readings, they all thought I was nuts. They all, laughed at me because they're like, oh, she's a tree hugger, but I didn't care, because it gave me so much joy. And this is the same thing with you. As long as you're happy and you're in love with what you are doing, you shouldn't give a flying fudge what anybody else thinks or what they say, because it's not their life. Other people don't get to choose what you do with your life, because they're not walking your path. They're not in your shoes. So be authentically you. Let yourself just be who you are. And I'm going to tell you right now, pile 3, the people that are meant to be in your life will stick around, will accept you for who you are. And the people who aren't, they'll walk away. And trust me, when they walk away, you don't need them in your life, because they're not the ones that are meant to be in your life to support you in your state of playfulness, in your state of creativity. Next, we have depth and lake. I love this, because this is saying right now that this is about you needing to explore yourself, right? Maybe you've hidden this part of yourself for so long that it almost feels like you don't even recognize yourself anymore. It's almost like you've lost yourself and you can't seem to find that spark or that glint of that, beautiful girl or boy that had so much zeal for life, okay? And this lake is all about completely immersing yourself in the depths of who you are, so that you could truly allow that to come to the surface and allow it to just shine forward, because that's who you are. You're meant to be that person that, that brings, so much light to the world. And I feel this is all about you needing to just simply make that choice. You're having to decide, it's almost like you're needing to decide, which version of yourself, and I say that because which version of yourself do you need to put to rest so that you could be more authentically you, right? Because I don't care what anybody says. We all, at one point in our life here, pile 3, have been a chameleon, where we have, conformed ourselves to meet the needs or expectations of the people around us. And I've gotten to the point in my life where I'm like, I'm no longer doing that. I'm going to be quirky. I'm going to be, chaotic and me, and the people that love me and that truly accept me for who I am are going to take all of that. They're not going to try to change me, and I'm not going to try to conform myself to make someone else feel comfortable. And this is the same idea here with you, pile 3. You're needing to just be you and allow yourself to come to the surface. Allow that true, authentic you to rise to the surface. Now, we have the Diamond Dreamer here, which talks about material wealth and true prosperity. And here's the thing. If you're someone that is really trying to manifest a different life for yourself and you're trying to bring in wealth and financial abundance, you're not going to do that, being a cookie cutter version of someone else, pile 3. The only way that you're going to attain true wealth and true prosperity is in your own authenticity, is being who you are and bringing what you have to offer, your talents, your skills, your knowledge, whatever, to the surface and letting that be shown out to the world. That is truly how you attain true prosperity. Because the moment that you truly accept yourself for who you are, and you're no longer trying to conform who you are to someone else's needs or expectations, then you honor yourself. You respect yourself enough to say, I'm not going to change myself for you. I love myself just the way I am. And that is when you truly start manifesting that wealth and that true sense of prosperity. Okay. Now we have the goddess Kali here with the release of limiting beliefs and transformation. Now I will admit that I don't really work with Kali very often because it does seem a little too much for me, but there are individuals there who do really work with Kali. And Kali is all about cutting out those limiting beliefs that you have about yourself and your life, your dreams, right? And really cutting it all out to completely transform. And I feel that that's what this month is really going to be for you. I feel this is a month where you're going to really you're going to really evaluate here, pile 3, on, what do I really want for my life? Where do I want to go? And it's interesting because this is your next card. The way forward is open. It's a map, right? And it's showing you exactly where you are. And it's showing you where you want to be. And this is where you're going to have to make a choice. You're going to have to decide for yourself. Do you want this bad enough that you're willing to cut out any beliefs, any patterns, any behaviors, any people that you feel you need to cut out in order for you to truly tread this path that you are meant to tread so that you could truly be in your authenticity? And, it's important that you recognize that you're not trapped, because it literally says here, you're not trapped. Possibilities and opportunities abound. I will guide you to personal and spiritual freedom. So this is all about you breaking free. Now, it could be that maybe the limiting beliefs is all basically from, your lineage. Maybe it's your ancestral trauma. Maybe it's stuff that's been passed down from generation to generation. And you're needing to really decide for yourself, do I want to continue this cycle? Or do I want to cut ties with that and move forward and live something more joyfully and easily because I deserve it? And last but not least, I love this pile 3 because I feel that your message today is really about, are you really willing to let go of the life you knew in order to have the life that you want? That is the ultimate question, because I feel that when transformation takes place, we tell ourselves we want to transform. We tell ourselves that we want change, but when change starts happening, we start getting cold feet and we start shuffling our feet. We keep saying, not right now, not right now, not right now. And we end up becoming so dissatisfied with where we are and what we're experiencing that we have a really hard time letting go of certain things. So your last message is let go. Now I'm going to read you what it says in the book here, because I feel it's going to give you a more in-depth message than I could do it justice. So the message is, take back your power and thrive. Let all just be and take back your light. Stop trying so hard and breathe. Letting go does not mean jumping blindly into faith, but to release the resistance you hold about a subject so your dreams and desires can be realized. We have all hung on to a person, a place, a job, or an idea because we think it will give us what we seek. But hanging on is the result of unbalanced thinking. This imbalance has you needing compensation. You created a deficit by compromising yourself, thinking that was the way toward your dreams. It was your choice to do that. Now it is your choice to let go and create from love instead of fear. You deserve to have what you want without compromising your truth. You cannot change what has occurred. However, you can change what you do from this moment on. No one has been placed upon this earth to make you happy, just as it is not your responsibility to make anyone else happy. Free yourself and everyone else of the idea that we must please others to be loved. You are loved, and you are love, no matter what has happened in your life or in anyone else's life. Pile 3, I feel this is an absolutely beautiful message. And I do feel that this message is truly calling, it's speaking to that higher aspect of you. And I do feel that there is a part of you that does want change, that you want to cut ties and let go of this old life that you feel is not truly authentically you anymore. It's just a matter of you completely choosing and letting it go and saying to yourself, I'm ready to move forward. So Pile 3, this is your message. I want to thank you so much for joining me today, and I look forward to seeing you next time with your new message. Bye, guys. Hi, Pile 4. You chose this beautiful lilac card that says, Your soul shines. Now, I absolutely love this because it is a 34, which reduces to a 7. And if you've been watching me for a long time here, Pile 4, you know that for me, 7s are a very sacred number. So I feel that what this month is really for you here, Pile 4, is it's all about you connecting with Source. And I feel that this is really you opening up your crown chakra and really allowing more higher forms of learning to come through, a great sense of enlightenment to come through, allowing your soul to basically shine in the mundane. It's about having a consistent practice of connecting to Source, whether that be through meditation, whether that be through prayer, whatever way it might be. I feel it's also cleaning things up for you in your external surroundings. It could be like doing some feng shui. I feel that this is really about you sort of understanding that you're maybe ascending to a higher vibration, and it's all about you being open to that and sort of allowing yourself to naturally, energetically, and vibrationally shift into that higher aspect of yourself. The you that has always been there, it's just a matter of you now shedding those old layers and allowing those older versions of yourself to just sort of, fade away. Because now you're really coming into your own. I feel like you're coming into this sense of that true source of connection and being in alignment with not only Source, but with your divinity. And I feel that this is you truly expanding like a star does and allowing everything that you have garnered or everything that you have gained throughout this process to just shine outward so that others can then see how you have truly grown and expanded. So let's go ahead and dive right into the tarot here. So pile 4, we are starting off with the Two of Wands. So I do feel that you are transitioning. The Two of Wands for me is all about planning and organizing. And I feel that right now, this month, you could be wanting to travel somewhere. You could be maybe moving homes, moving offices. Maybe you're moving jobs. I just feel that there's a lot of change coming in for you. And this is because you're sort of shifting into this higher vibration that is, you know, you're sort of coming into this state where you're like, oh, well, you know, this doesn't feel good for me anymore energetically. So maybe I need to do this, right? And so I feel this is where all this change is coming in. And it's almost like you're looking at it from a perspective of, you know, I've enjoyed my time in this space, but now I have this desire to sort of move to this space. I want to expand and move there and see, you know, what the next step is or what the next level is. It's almost like, you know how when you're playing a game and you start at level 1 and you die multiple times until you can get the rhythm of all of the obstacles and the challenges that you face. And then eventually you get to the end of level 1 and then you level up to level 2, right? It's the same thing in life here, pile 4. And I feel you're now at the point where you're like, you know what? I'm done with this level. I now want to level up. And in doing so, that means that you have to really plan how you're going to get there. And you really have to organize your life in a way that you can be willing to set aside certain things because you can't bring those things with you, right? Because you're going to gain other things in that newer level now that are going to help you grow in that level and so forth and so on. It's just like when you're upgrading a weapon in a game, right? Next, we have the Six of Pentacles, and I absolutely love this because this means that you've now reached a point here, pile 4, where you're recognizing how everything works, how the state of flow of energy works, and you're recognizing that the energy in versus the energy out. You're understanding that concept. And I feel that you're now starting to be more aware, more consciously aware of where you're putting your energy. You're not putting all your eggs in one basket. Now you're trying to strategize and organize and say, okay, I'm going to put, 20% here, and then I'm going to put 40% here. And then I'm going to put I'm going to split the rest of it in 3 other different baskets. And so I feel that when you've reached that point, you're then at that point where you are so connected to source that there isn't anything that is going to fluster you, right? It's like you're no longer allowing anything outside of you to hinder you from continuing the path forward. What I love about the King of Cups here, pile 4, is that the King of Cups follows his heart's wisdom. And he's so connected to his heart, and your intuition and your soul live within your heart. And when you're so connected, there isn't anything that sways you from that because you're in this state of bliss and you see everything as an opportunity, and you're able to, whatever challenge or obstacle comes up, you're able to swiftly, go into the flow of that and say, oh, okay, I just need to change course here. And then I can turn back around and so forth and so on. So I love this because this ultimately tells me that you are so connected this month to your heart's wisdom, that you're no longer feeling restricted. You're no longer feeling like you're bound to the old ways of doing things. And I love this because you got the 8 of Swords in reverse. Now, I normally don't read it that way, but that's what I keep getting. I keep getting that you now see the illusion for what it is. And because you see the illusion for what it is, you recognize that it no longer has the same effect or the same hold on you as it once did, because you're like, that shit's not real, right? And I love that because you allowing that, having that connection to divine source helps you see things at a much clearer level. It's almost like you understand it. You're like, oh, okay. And it doesn't deter you. Like, it doesn't freak you out. It doesn't cause you to panic. It doesn't cause you to move into fear. It no longer holds you. It no longer restricts you, because you recognize, oh, okay, I just need to do this, right? And then you get out of the situation. So you no longer feel like you're locked in. And I love that. Now, you have the Queen of Swords here as your ending card. So here's what I'm going to tell you. When you are so connected to divine source, a lot of times it can be a little difficult to differentiate between our intuition and our higher, our ego, right? I don't want you to overthink things this month. I don't want you to overanalyze. I just want you to observe. Allow yourself to observe, see things for what they are, and listen to your heart. Your heart is always going to give you that action. It's always going to tell you what the next step is, or where to go, or what to do. I say this because normally, if the Queen of Swords were upright, I would tell you, you need to really listen with your mind, right? But that's not what I'm going to tell you here, Pile 4. You really need to listen to your heart, because I feel that you've learned enough that you know that there is a fine balance between listening to your intellect and listening to your mind. You recognize that, your mind is going to give you information based on past experiences, right? But it isn't going to give you that higher aspect. It isn't going to give you that deep sense of knowing and attunement that we get from higher source, right? And this Queen of Swords is even looking at this King of Cups. And the King of Cups is going to always be so in touch that everything is in balance. And because he's listening to his heart's wisdom, he knows exactly what he needs to do. So let's dive a little bit deeper. Okay, I absolutely love this, because your next card is Communicate with Spirit. And I feel this is what you're going to be doing this month here, Pile 4. I feel that this month is going to be a way for you to truly connect to your guides, to your angels, maybe your ancestors. You could have new guides coming in, or new light beings coming in, but I feel that this month is really about you connecting spiritually. And it could be you connecting with your higher self, feeling more connected and more in attunement with it, okay? Next, we have Be Magnetized. Okay, and again, the Be Magnetized is really about you, really understanding how the energy is flowing, you recognizing that your thoughts and your feelings ultimately create your reality. You're recognizing that you are the creator, that you are the manifester, and that you're manifesting things, and that you recognize you're the magnet. So you're naturally attracting things towards you. And so I feel that this month, when you can really just, communicate with spirit and really be in touch, I feel that you're going to have no qualms whatsoever aligning with the things that you ultimately want to attract. I don't feel that that's going to be an issue for you this month. Next, we have Motion with Air. Okay, I love this, because what this is saying is that, air is all about, our thoughts, right? But this is really representing motion. And I feel that this month, for you, it's all about you when you're connecting, recognizing that you have to be flexible, okay? I feel that it's important that you not be so hard on yourself. It's sort of like, be flexible but grounded, Allow yourself to have free thought. Understand that, you have to move and choose. You have to find your freedom. Use your voice resourcefully. Stand up for what you believe in and be mindful of how you communicate. I feel that is ultimately the most important thing, right? Be very clear, be very precise about what it is that you are wanting to attract or that you want to, create. Be very mindful of how you communicate with yourself mentally, verbally. Be very mindful of where your emotions are, right? And how you communicate with spirit. Are you being clear? Are you being precise? Or are you being kind of wishy-washy? Like, all of those things are important. Next, we have the Fire Prince here with optimism and aggression. Okay. I feel that what this is ultimately saying is that maybe you're the type of person here that tends to get very aggravated when things don't go the way that you want them to go. Or maybe you get really upset at yourself when you don't do something you're supposed to do, right? Like, it's, you tend to be hard on yourself. That's kind of what I'm hearing. I feel that the important thing for you here with the Fire Prince is that when it comes to, what is transpiring for you, it's important for you to recognize here, Pile 4, that the Fire Prince represents the invisible forces behind all manner of manifestation. And he brings you the gift of optimism. You will be rightly inspired to move forward and take confident, assertive action to reach your goal. So I feel that for this is all about, what are you wanting to create? Are you really being optimistic about what you're wanting to create? Again, are you being flexible? Are you moving in and out? It's really about being intentional, okay? Next, we have the Goddess sign or scene. This is all about devotion, support, loyalty. Again, this is all about connecting to divine source, being committed to connecting, and then learning to trust, recognizing that when you work together, right? When you work hand in hand with spirit, you ultimately magnetize the things that you want for yourself. Your next message is trust in divine purpose. Now, this is important because I feel that with the Fire Prince and with the Goddess here, it's sort of going all hand in hand. And what it's saying is, understand that the experience that you're having this month has divine meaning. Healing will come, and know that you are on a path of growth. So understand that what you experience this month is all about growth. It's all about, seeing things from a different perspective. And it's about seeing the higher purpose. Okay. Now, your last card, I feel, is probably the most important because you got variance. And I absolutely love it when this card comes up because it truly puts everything into perspective here. And it sort of helps you understand how everything coincides and how everything works together. Okay. So I'm going to read you what it says in the book because it's going to give you a better definition than I ever will. So variance is about the differing perceptions of ego and soul. Now, remember, I said this earlier, knowing the difference between your intuition and your ego. Okay. So today, you may not feel like yourself. You and your soul are looking at the same thing, but are seeing it differently. Your emotions and reactions are a combination of your thoughts and your soul's thoughts, and when they don't align, they feel wobbly. Variance is a way of explaining the wobble. When you have the same perspective as your soul, things feel right. They may seem satisfactory and easy. No limiting beliefs or patterns are triggered, but there is a feeling that all is well. Your soul will never join you in judgment, blame, or hurt because it is not the truth of you. It is not the perspective of love. How you feel reveals how aligned you are with your soul. If you are experiencing something that doesn't feel quite right, take a breath and come back to your center. You will begin to feel better, inspired to navigate your inner radar and ready to receive your soul's transmission. So I feel that the most important thing for you this month here, Pile 4, is number one, be in tune with your heart's desire. Listening to your heart's wisdom and truly recognizing when you're in alignment and when you're not. And I feel that's what you're going to be working on this month. I feel this month is really going to be about you really deciding for yourself how you're going to want to plan and move forward in your life and where you're going to want to go. And I feel that it's really going to be a matter of you deciding, how you're going to attract that and how you're going to magnetize yourself towards that, because you recognize now that everything is all within divine timing. So Pile 4, this is your message. I want to thank you so much for joining me today, and I look forward to seeing you next time with your new message. Bye, guys.